Wrestling on weed.
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 Wrestling on weed. Subscribe today. Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem.
What's going on, guys? I'm right back in the building. It's your boy, Mr. HD, back with another Wild News joint. This good Tuesday. What's today, the 20th? Yeah, it's the 20th, September 20th, man. 3 days from my birthday. Hey. So we got to get through these news stories. There's been a lot of news in the cycle. Nothing too major, but there are some interesting stories I want to get through. Obviously, if you watched Monday Night Raw last night, you know that we are getting the Fight Pit back from NXT. You don't know about the Fight Pit, you need to go look up fucking Thatcher versus Ciampa, or who the fuck did Riddle fight in the Fight Pit? Riddle fought somebody in the Fight Pit. I can't even remember who it was. It's a fucking fire concept. It's kind of like the shit that Ken Shamrock used to do, but better. It's way better because it's got the elevated platform too. Really fucking dope concept by Triple H that he had going to NXT for a little bit. He's bringing it to Extreme Rules, and this should be fucking fire. It was Thatcher and Riddle, right? Yeah, okay, Thatcher and Riddle. Yeah. That shit was amazing. Now, I said Thatcher and Ciampa. Yeah, it's Thatcher and Riddle. Joining Cowboys Nation, that is a ridiculous sentiment. What? Cooper Rush? You want me to stop it? Oh man, but yeah. So we getting that match back. So that's one concept that's coming from NXT. We've already seen a lot of NXT call-ups, but I feel like one of the biggest things that people have been crying to have brought from NXT. One of the biggest concepts that people have been wanting to come from NXT has been War Games. And it's official. War Games is coming to the main roster. It's not going to be no stupid-ass Raw versus SmackDown shit. It's going to be War Games. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers with real beef going in there, not representing no brand. It's going to be like, yo, we don't like y'all. Y'all the bad guys. We don't like y'all. You know what I mean? We the good guys. And it's going to feel like War Games. And it's going to happen on the perfect show, Survivor Series. Survivor Series just became a zillion times more interesting because before, no one gave a shit about Survivor Series. It was almost a pay-per-view that people knew wasn't going to add anything to the stories going forward. You're going to waste a bunch of time having people have to tag team that don't like each other. And yeah, it's just like people feuding over shit that don't matter, over colors, like it's Bloods and Crips and shit. It was just stupid. You know what I mean? Now, this feels like some real Survivor shit. It's War Games, like Survivor and War. It just goes together. You know what I mean? So it just makes a lot of sense. So here's Triple H's statement on it. He said, we'll have a men's War Games match and a women's War Games match. Fire. The tradition of the Survivor Series it has ebbed and flowed and changed slightly over time, but this will be similar to that, Triple H said. This will not be Raw versus SmackDown. Thank God. It will be much more storyline driven. I still look at it as a traditional component to Survivor Series is in there because it's large teams of people competing. We just upped the ante a little bit with War Games and made it evolve. It's going to happen November 26th, so that's after Extreme Rules. Yeah, so yeah, obviously, because Extreme Rules is next, and that's after Crown Jewel as well. So we got a little ways till we get there, but it's good to know that around holiday time, we won't, have to be wasting our time watching a pay-per-view that doesn't matter, because that's what it's felt like for a while. So yeah, War Games is back. I wonder if they're going to do it in NXT anymore. If they're going to have an NXT version of War Games still, because they just had one past year with Braun Breaker and all those guys. But it was kind of whack, so I don't know if they just deadened it, but it started there, so they got to give them their own they got to keep their version of War Games, right, at NXT. It just seems like something that should go down. They should do the NXT joint at Survivor Series. You want to give the NXT guys, I mean, I know there's WrestleMania and SummerSlam where you could bring NXT people on, but usually it's too many spots already to fill. Like, the roster's too thick. So maybe have the NXT's War Games match, 3 War Games matches. Would people watch that? Like, have 3 War Games matches? How many spots are there to to do in one night in a double cage? I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like NXT deserves to keep their version of War Games. But we'll see. Maybe not. In our next story, obviously, there's been a lot of news, a lot of talk about Bray Wyatt returning to WWE since Triple H took over. Everybody, he was like the number 1 name on everybody's list that could possibly come back, that people wanted to come back. Bray Wyatt, he's a genius. Like, he should be in a pro wrestling company getting paid a lot of money to, show us his creativity, because obviously he's one of the most creative people, I feel like, in the history of pro wrestling. And and that's just not because of the Fiend. All his characters were that creative and well executed when it felt like he was in control. But obviously he wasn't always in control. It's part of the reason he's not there anymore. And it is what it is. But we've been getting a lot of teases, possible teases, that, Bray Wyatt could be returning. It's already been acknowledged that, there was talks between Bray Wyatt and WWE about him possibly returning. So I don't understand why those talks would fall through the floor or anything. Like, Vince ain't there. Vince, obviously, because Triple H is hiring whoever the fuck he wants. So if there was talks, I'm assuming there's going to be a deal done. Because if Bray Wyatt wanted to go to AEW or somewhere, he could already been there. You know what I mean? Please believe that Tony Khan would have signed The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, in a heartbeat if Bray was like, yeah, I'll take $1 million to come over there. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, yes, he would have done it. You know what I mean? He's a mark. I mean, it is what it is. He would have done it. You know what I mean? Everybody talking about The Fiend on the internet. I'm going to give him some money. so it is what it is. But last night may have been one of the biggest teases. We've been seeing this whole White Rabbit thing, people with their cell phone lights up and them playing this song. I don't know the fucking song. People act like they knew about the song before they start playing it. Whatever. Y'all know the song. Cool. I don't. So this song called White Rabbit apparently has in the past been attached to Karrion Kross, but Karrion maybe came out on Twitter and said that it wasn't him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he was saying it was him or it wasn't him. I couldn't really figure out the play. He said, don't, is kind of ain't me, or don't, I'm a silent killer. He's fucking cryptic. I can't understand half of the shit he says or what he means by it. But this is kind of interesting because they had a QR code on the show Monday Night Raw last night that had, his Austin Theory working out. There was a QR code, and people, now if you see a QR code on the screen, you know to scan it. I'm not that guy. I don't even be paying attention that hard. I be actually watching the show most of the time, not looking for stickers on the wall, but I'm going to start looking for QR codes now, I guess. But they scanned it, and when you scanned it, it took people to a fucking game of Hangman. It's really fucking interesting. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, what's happening here? And you play the game, and apparently the answer to the question was, who killed the world? And the answer to the question was, you did. And it's some Bray Wyatt shit. It has to be. You know what I mean? And it feels like it's tied into the White Rabbit, but maybe it's two separate things. Maybe these are teasing two separate people. Triple H said he had a lot of surprises. Maybe he's throwing a bunch of them on us at the same time. Maybe all of this is the same person. I don't fucking know. But this is why storytelling is so great in WWE with when it comes to things like this now, because we weren't getting stuff like this with Triple H or with Vince McMahon. We get it with Triple H, though. We get a lot of innuendo that leaves us confused. They're like, what's happening? Did that just mean that, or does it mean something else? Or cliffhangers, different things like that. And that just makes for enjoyable TV. It's why we watch fucking Game of Thrones and fucking all these other fucking shows. Because it's like, oh, this is crazy. It's cliffhanger. What's going to happen next? You know what I mean? Oh, they just did that. What's going to happen next? It's like, that's what makes good television. It's storytelling. And obviously Triple H, even with the War Games thing, he said this shit is going to be more storyline driven. We not just out here doing shit. Before, I know it was like it had its ebbs and flows. what he meant was, I know in the past the shit sucked, but I'm in control now, so it's gonna be good. That's basically what he was saying. So shout out to Triple H for these changes, and I hope that these are teases for Bray Wyatt. He's like, if it's not him, whoever it is going to be like Rey Mysterio coming out the Royal Rumble at number 30 when everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to be there. Like, it's going to be that reaction. Everybody can be like, all right. If it's somebody they want to see, they're going to be like, okay, cool, but we expected Bray. Like this, it's not going to be, people going to feel disappointed because they've already built it up in their minds. And now I'm starting to, because everybody else is like, yeah, it's Bray. And I don't fucking know, honestly. So, excuse me. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I just find it really interesting. And something else that makes it even more interesting is the stuff that's going on with Alexa Bliss. Yeah, because on Monday Night Raw, like I said on the Blunt ratings, Bailey was like, she kind of ripped Bliss for being a shell of herself or whatever, and then beat her in the match. And the announcers kept pointing out that Bailey was not putting everything she had into the match, or that Bliss wasn't putting everything she had into the match. She's just kind of lackadaisical, or she wasn't the old Alexa Bliss or whatever. They're trying to, build it up as like she's whack now. You know what I mean? She's lost a step or something. But it kind of feels like, you know what I mean? They're kind of teasing the whole her getting, because she brought Lily back out with her again. You know what I mean? And they referred to the doll, and they played the whole White Rabbit shit during the main event match when she was out there. So it's like, I mean, it was whack the first time they did it. Like, she bleeding black goo out the face and coming out of Jack in the Box. Like, it was all trash. But I'm willing to give Triple H the benefit of the doubt, honestly. Like, I feel like if anyone's going to make that gimmick good, it'll be him. And if Bray Wyatt's involved, I feel like it'll be good. As long as Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and all those weirdos that were there before aren't involved at all, I feel like, these ideas that the wrestlers have can actually get over. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I do like Alexa Bliss when she's doing work, because she's a good actress, and she's, she sells well, and she's good in the ring. You know what I mean? This makes sense. And tying her to Bray Wyatt, I feel like giving her an extra layer of, intensity or intimidation is good, because she is small, and I feel like anything helps. You know what I mean? So shout out to Alexa Bliss. I'm rooting for her. I like Alexa Bliss. I'm an Alexa Bliss fan. Damn, she didn't go off once. That was pretty good. Maybe because my voice is all cracky. In our next story of the day, let's talk about something that we didn't talk about that happened last week. Malachi Black. We talked about, obviously, him asking for his release and being granted his release conditionally, obviously. But he talked about, his release from AEW and what's going on with that. He actually gave a statement on it. Meltzer discussed the Aleister Black situation with Alvarez at one point, and said Black wanted to go back to WWE. Damn, it's kind of a crazy situation. It's something that we talked about would be the possibility for AEW coming real soon. But Mel said he wrestled last night, which was interesting. Then he put out a statement today, and he wanted out from AEW. I guess we'll see what happens. Obviously, he wanted to go back to WWE, and he had a lot of time left on his deal. I think he had 4.5 years left on the deal. It's an interesting thing because it's really difficult to keep someone who is unhappy under contract for that length of time. He did sign for that length of time. The reason you sign people to contracts is so they can't they can't get unhappy, or somebody makes an offer somewhere else. They can't just go the next day. The whole reason he was signed to a 5-year big money contract was so if something happened in WWE and they wanted him back, and they changed his mind, that they had him and they could book him for all those years. So it became an interesting situation, and the same goes in the other direction too. All right, so here's my thing with that, Tony Khan. I get that that's probably good in theory, right? It's good business. Sign your guys up for a long contract, um, all that good stuff. But I mean, maybe this doesn't mean as much now because we see what backstage is like in AEW. It's a fucking shit show all the way around, a complete shit show backstage in AEW. Um, I don't think this is good for morale. I don't think it's just like Mel said, I don't think it's smart to have someone backstage for 4 years that's mad that they aren't being given what they're supposed to be given. Like Aleister Black came out and said in his statement, like, I was promised things for my career that I just didn't get. And, it's affecting my mental health. I've had people close to me die, and me and my wife are dealing with stuff. He's just like, nah, man, this is just like the nail in the coffin. Like, I'm going through all this, and I come over here, and you make all these promises, and then you don't follow through with none of them. Like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? I don't care about no contract. You know what I mean? I care about my happiness. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And you want good morale backstage. And you don't want a bunch of people feeling like that backstage. And it's going to happen more and more because people aren't getting what they were promised. There's a lot of people in this situation. MJF, I mean, is probably the biggest name who's unhappy, but there's a ton of people who should be on TV a lot more than they are and getting Miro and Andrade. The list goes on. Their roster is way too big for the TV time they have. We've discussed that 100 times at this point. But yeah, good for Aleister Black, man. I mean, I believe in contracts too, and stick it to them. But at the end of the day, we can't be all like, yeah, mental health, mental health, mental health. But then when someone's like, yeah, this job is bad for my mental health, you're like, fuck your mental health. You signed the paperwork. You know what I mean? It's like, what? It's like, I gotta pick one. Yeah, I gotta pick one. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't be like, trying to have your cake and eat it too. So in this situation, especially with wrestling, are you going to be like WWE Tony Khan? Like, that's why people don't like being like, they get locked into these deals and they can't do anything else and blah, blah, blah. Maybe Tony is hard up on keeping people from doing Twitch and making money outside and all that. But still, it's like, I don't want to be here. So why are you keeping me here? I don't want your money. Just let me go do something else. If you don't think I'm helping you in your program, why are you worried about me going somewhere else and helping theirs? Like, it's just, if I'm good enough to be on TV on their show, why don't you put me on TV on your show? Unless you're just holding me fucking hostage. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like the kid that's stuck between two parents that hate each other. You know what I mean? It's like, no one wants to be in that situation. And it's like, so I'm good. I'm good with Malachi Black and asking for his release and possibly going back to WWE if that's where he'll be happy, man. You get one life, one chance to be happy in life. So you get more than one chance, but you get one life to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, they haven't actually been explained, main 2K. I wouldn't say, actually explained, but everyone thinks that it's Bray Wyatt, man. I mean, the end of the day, Karrion Kross came out and said that it wasn't him, or he vaguely said that it wasn't him. So everyone's expecting it to be Bray Wyatt. And if it isn't a tease for Bray Wyatt, a lot of people are going to be disappointed. And whoever it's a tease for is not going to be a good look for them. It's going to be Rey Mysterio, number 30 in the Royal Rumble, all over again if this is not Bray Wyatt. So I can't even think of a name of a person that it would, unless it was Malachi Black's. Unless it was Malachi Black, that would be crazy. But obviously, he can't just pop up at WWE tomorrow because he got a release, a conditional release. So I don't know. It's been talked about more than it has been explained in detail. No one knows, and that's the beauty of it. That's why we're so intrigued by it. So will Malachi Black end up back in WWE? You guys let me know in the comments. And speaking of AEW, man, is their ranking system dead, guys? Has it jumped the shark? Is AEW rankings, are they over now? Because it looks like the case. Apparently, they haven't updated their ranking system since, what's the day here? August 31st. So almost a month. 3 weeks. They haven't updated their ranking system. I think they've come to grips with the fact that it's it doesn't work in pro wrestling. It's a fake sport. I think no one cares. Like, especially when you're showing someone 15 and 13 from fucking Rampage or Dark or Elevate. Like, nigga, what? So, no, I don't get, no. You can't just be like, oh, yeah, they wrestled 40 matches. I ain't seen none of them. Like, what the hell? Like, only matches that count to me are on Dynamite, maybe Rampage. Like, you can't. You adding up records on a show that don't fucking matter. Like, no, man, that ain't gonna work. So I'm kind of glad because it's also messing up the title picture and the storytelling. Like, you can't. FTR should have the AEW. They should have had an AEW championship match 6 months ago. Period. Like, what are you talking about? How long have they been the number 1 ranked team? You know what I mean? What are we doing? Like, or number 2 ranked team, or no, they're the number 1 ranked team after the champions, and then it's the Acclaim. But guess who's fighting for the fucking titles, guys? The Acclaim. What are we doing? You know what I mean? And that's a babyface team. So FTR definitely ain't getting the titles no time soon, unless they flip and turn heel, which they can't because Dax be coming out cutting promos about his little daughter. Like, you can't just turn them heel so they can feud with the Acclaim. So it's going to be even longer before they get the fucking titles. I don't think they're going to get them. I'm starting to think that they're not going to get the AEW Tag Team Championships. Like, I'm starting to think, and maybe they end up leaving AEW when their contracts are up. I don't know how long they're signed for. Who fucking knows? Like, Triple H is in charge now, man. You think Triple H ain't over there? Like, he might not be sending out texts to himself, but all them wrestlers know each other. That's what this whole Young Buck shit got out of hand for a second. Like, people, they talking to Kevin Owens. They might try to leave, blah, blah. No one believes the Young Bucks are leaving. But shit, somebody like this might. Aleister Black, well, maybe wants to, so I don't know, man. It's like, this ranking system is stupid. It's all we've talked about it in the past before. It just doesn't work for a scripted program. Like, if it's not scripted, then obviously best record should get the title match. You know what I mean? It's not believable. Like, you giving the number 3, 4 ranked person a chance at the person. Nah, I want to dethrone the champion. You know what I mean? The person that's been holding the belt. Like, anyways. MJF was on Ariel's podcast or interview show or whatever. Y'all know Ariel Hawali, the guy with the glasses. He's a really good interviewer. He gets a lot of good people on his show. But he talked about his relationship with Tony Khan, and he was in full MJF mode, and I loved it. He said he was asked about his relationship with Tony. He was like, did PR get a little upset that I didn't clear it with them? Yes. He's like, does PR now have absolutely no choice but to salivate at the fact that MJF is leaving his house to do an interview in regards to Arthur Ashe? Yes, because things have changed a little bit. The ball's in my court now. I'm the one with the biggest ratings. Shots fired. What has changed? What has changed is this. I've come back. Tony Khan had no choice but to understand and to deal with the fact that if you want MJF on your show, you got to abide by MJF's rules. That's some boss shit. It's that simple. MJF wanted to be on Ariel Hawali's show today, so MJF is on Ariel Hawali's show today. So, I mean, just him in full MJF mode. Like, obviously, I think everything between him and Tony is a work. I'm cool with it. Like, does it make Tony Khan look like a bitch? Yep, sure does. Can't deny that. Makes him look like a big old bitch. I can't. He's still MJF's bitch. He's CM Punk's bitch. He's MJF's. It's like he's a mark. He's a billionaire, but I mean, the backbone. I mean, I don't want to disrespect that man. But come on, man. It's like you. It's so much real shit going on. Like you just letting people pile on the fact that you don't have control of your company. This man just did an interview and said he has to do what I say. And he's kind of right. I mean, he's kind of right. He brings in the biggest ratings. Like, if you want, it's a TV show. You gonna cut off your nose to spite your face, Tony? You can't. You know what I mean? This is the position you put yourself in. You know what I mean? You should have just gave MJF his money when you saw that he deserved it. That's how you keep people happy. Yo, MJF, let me talk to you real quick. Yo, you've been killing this shit, bro. You got like the highest rate. I feel like I owe you more money. You know what I mean? Guess what's not gonna happen? MJF not gonna not show up or possibly not show up and be gone for months and be upset and burying the company and talking about he going to the other company. Like, none of that is actually good for AEW. I don't know if anybody. It's cool to talk about. It's good for news shows and shit like mine, but it's not good for AEW that people on AEW shows are like, yeah, maybe I'll just leave and go to the other place. Because it happens a lot. Is this why I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just it's you know, it's a sticky situation. Yes, Tech. What's going on, Blake? I ain't see you slide up in here. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely a sticky situation, bruh. It's because MJF he does carry the show. It's not just MJF. I think Moxley and Punk and a couple others help as far as carrying the show. But MJF is that guy. He deserves every penny he gets and probably a little bit more. You know what I mean? So Tony Khan hugging Cesaro made him look like a bit. Well, that wasn't just it. It's a lot of things. It's a whole lot of things that make him look less than a strong leader. Let's just say that. But who knows? Who knows? I think that a lot of the stuff between him and MJF is a work, obviously, at this point. Tony's okay with it, but it's weird that you're okay with someone burying your company like this. Company feels a little too new for this. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I just don't think that it's a great look for AEW. But anyways, let's get on to our next story. This fucking Roman Reigns and Logan Paul shit. Like I said, I am interested in the match because it's going to be a spectacle. I already know who's going to win. I don't believe I just want to see what's going to happen during the match and how Roman's going to win. What I would like to see happen during the match is Logan Paul gets squashed in 1 minute. That would be awesome. Like, I would like maybe Logan come out and maybe he lands a lucky shot and Roman goes down and he's like, oh shit, and he goes for a count and he gets a 2 count and everybody's like, oh shit, that was his one shot at the lucky shot. And then Roman just dogs him for another 90 seconds and hits him with a spear and leaves. Like, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? I don't need to see a long match. It's just having a 20-minute match with Logan Paul and Roman Reigns just feels disrespectful to Roman Reigns at the end of the day. But Meltzer spoke on why this match is happening, which I feel like is obvious to most people. And I wonder how people backstage are receiving this, but as far as the wrestlers. But Meltzer said he's doing the match because he's a big deal in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? He's a big deal to the Saudi Arabia prince, and that's the whole thing of these shows. He said that, it's not about, selling tickets. Nobody gives a shit about that. Tickets in Saudi Arabia mean nothing. It's not even part of the game. So, this isn't a whole, like, he's trying to drive ticket sales or whatever. They're literally just trying to entertain a couple, trillionaires. I don't know how much money the Saudi prince got. They're just literally trying to entertain those guys. This show it's for us, but it's not really for us. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. They try to make it as much for the people who watch regularly as they can, but at the end of the day, it's like a personal party for the Saudi prince and the Saudi government. That's what they're doing. They're trying to make themselves look good because people know that they're into a lot of sinister stuff. But so is our government. So it's whatever. Like, I don't even want to get into that. But yeah, it's just, it's a mess. You know what I mean? But do I want to see this match? Yep, I do. Because I like spectacle sometimes. Just like I wouldn't mind seeing Amos and Braun Strowman. Because it's a spectacle. It don't need to last long. 5 minutes max. Like, just get it in, get it out. It'll be cool. Think of some way to get it done and, get it done. But that's why the match is happening. Every time you see, that's why you get Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement for however much money he got paid to make him, to just, tarnish his legacy and all these different things. Like, it's just like, why did that match happen? You know what I mean? Let's go see The Undertaker and Kane that way past their prime. Like, Goldberg coming back to get checks in the middle of stories and taking titles off it. It's just bad, man. It's bad. It's a bad show to have to do, honestly. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? They're going to try to make it feel important, you know what I mean, as far as the stories that we're paying attention to over here. But 6 weeks of Logan Paul, guys, strap in. So uh, I guess we could talk about these stories. This isn't really a story. Table for Three is back on WWE. I used to kind of like that show when WWE Network was on. I got to get me a VPN so I can get WWE Network again. But Table for Three is coming back. They look like they've been setting up some pretty good episodes. But the Steiner brothers are on the next episode. And obviously the Steiner brothers are going to be sitting there with Rick's son, Braun Breaker. So that should be interesting if you're looking for some more wrestling stuff to watch. And in some news, I don't know if it's good or bad because I don't know. But the assault case against Velveteen Dream has been dropped. Obviously, he's had a lot more cases than just this one recently. A lot more issues than just this one. But, apparently, there was some issue at a gym, assault charge, or blah, blah, blah. Somebody saying he being aggressive to her. But the case was dropped. I don't know. When it comes to stuff like that, I don't really, I know what, as a black man, if you raise your voice, someone gonna say that you're being irate and argumentative, or you're a threat or something. So I don't know the situation, so I'm not gonna bash him for this specific situation, But I still remember that he was in the DMs of little boys. So if I'm going to judge him for anything, it's going to be that. So. People do dirty, disgusting things sometimes. That don't mean everything they do is wrong. So it's like, you might not have did this one, but you still did that. So, and yeah, I like Velveteen. We all like Velveteen Dream in NXT. He's one of the fucking best acts hands down, one of the best acts in NXT when he was there. Hands down, had banging matches. I didn't forget. It wasn't that long ago. Velveteen Dream was on his way to being a fucking superstar. He was ready for the people. Was like Velveteen Dream getting called up next. Like, he had the it factor, clearly. You know what I mean? It's a little, a little extra for my taste, but I enjoyed the Velveteen Dream. Like, sometimes he may be uncomfortable, but that's probably more of an issue with me. You know what I mean? I just don't want to see that shit. You know what I mean? But he doing his thing. But, now it's like, oh, so you are a creep. But whatever, man. Who knows? I think his wrestling career is pretty much in the toilet at this point. Unless, it comes out and he finds proof and he's just able to dispel every rumor or allegation that's ever been against him. And, that's that, so. But who knows? I ain't going to talk about him too much on this show. That's all the news I got for today, guys. Let me see what you guys talking about. WWE Network was so much better than Peacock. Yes, 1,000%. Peacock barely got fucking 480p service. Like, that should be... Peacock is so glitchy. I fucking hate that app. It's just dumb. It's like, why does every network have to have its own app? Like, we started doing the app shit so we could save money on our cable bill. And now I have like $150 worth of apps. It's some bullshit. It's more than I ever paid for cable. It's some bullshit, man. Velveteen Dream was awesome, but he fucked up the money, man. It is what it is. He said he was very zesty. He was very zesty. But he's so talented, though. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, and it's not like what we have now. Because I'll take Velveteen Dream 1,000 times out of 1,000 over Elliot, whatever is, I don't even know. It's not for me. You know what I mean? It's not for me. It's for somebody. Representation. Cool. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So Peacock is better than Paramount Plus. Yeah, Paramount Plus needs to burn in the trash can. It's like when they put football games only on Paramount Plus, I literally want to go to the government and just like file a petition. Do nothing. No violence. Just, I want to file a petition. They about to show up at my door. Like, you said you do what? Nothing. But yeah, man, I fucking hate Paramount Plus. It's a fucking Peacock. All these dumbass apps, man. Quincy Elliott violated ring. Yeah, bro, he's the ring post, Ricochet. Like, I would have been mad if I was Ricochet. I'm like, I ain't asked to do this. Why'd y'all? It's like, but clearly he was probably he knew what was going on. But still, I mean, I guess I guess, man. It is what it is. Yeah, it's just like ill, bro. Like that's not. It's not. No, don't need. And I don't care. Like we love Anthony Bowens, right? Scissor me, daddy. Scissor me. Gay as fuck. Let's just be clear. Anthony Bowens gay as a motherfucker. Nobody cares. Nobody cares until you start grinding your ass cheeks on the fucking pole and making everybody uncomfortable. It's like, come on, man. What percentage of the crowd showed up to see that? It's like, nobody. But it is what it is, man. Yeah, Anthony Bowens is the shit, yo. That guy is dope as fuck. He's hilarious. He's beast in the ring. You know what I mean? Cool as shit in real life. You know what I mean? You can just tell from his interviews and shit. So, yeah, man. It's like different types of people. You know what I mean? Some people try to shove that shit down your throat. Pause. Whoa. Wait a minute. Gotta reevaluate what I was about to say there. He's trying to force it on you. I still don't like that. I don't know. I don't know how to phrase this without. It's all pause. Jesus Christ. Super pause. Oh man, but yeah, you know, it's two different types of gay people. That's what I was saying. Oh my God, that was so ridiculous. I think it's time to end the show, guys. I think that's all the news I got for today. Dead ass. That's all the news I got for today. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be more news to come out tomorrow. If not, I'll definitely be back. Well, what's today? Today's Tuesday. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I might not see you guys tomorrow, but we'll definitely be back to do. Actually, yeah, we gotta do the predictions. That's what I was like. There's something I'm supposed to be doing. We doing the predictions for Arthur Ashe, man. T-Rav got to put that title on the line, baby. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be coming back later today to do that, or we might have to jump on right before the show tomorrow and do our predictions. Just depend. I gotta check his schedule real quick. I'm gonna hit him up. I think he already responded, but I gotta check that. So hit the notification bell so you know when we go live to do our predictions for the Arthur Ashe show, which is gonna be, the card is loaded. You know what I mean? Gonna be a great episode of Dynamite. Definitely looking forward to it. So definitely worthy of doing predictions. So yeah. See you guys in a few, whenever a few is. It'll be soon. So lock in. It's your boy, Miss Stage D. Until the next one, deuces.